Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker, Jeff Marconette Jr. Now, can you just see the lights and stuff that shine when I say that name? Because you really should. But but my background is I was in a car wreck. I spent 2.5 months in a coma, 3.5 in the hospital. They told me I wouldn't walk again, but I am here now, and I make every second count. And this show is all about helping others see that they can make every second count too, especially if me and my guests can do that. So tonight, with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage the man, the myth, the legend, Roland himself. Hey, Roland, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, I always thought maybe you should take up singing.
No, I don't think so at all.
I'm doing unbelievable. How you doing, Jeff?
Oh, I'm doing phenomenally. I appreciate you asking so much because that means so much to me. And I appreciate you being a last second fill in for the show because tonight's guest had a death in the family and I didn't want to make her try to do that. So,
Hey, that's great because that's usually when I was growing up. That's how I got on to play softball because I was the last choice that they could pick, and so I can understand that.
yeah, well, that is cool. I'd like to say hi to Terrence, and I don't have this opened on my phone, so I can't see who else is here right now, but
Okay.
I'm going to open it on my phone. And also, I want to tell everybody out there if you would please like this video, share it out to all kinds of people, tag at least 3 people in the comments, and let them know that they can watch too. And we hope we can help you get by whatever you were dealing with. So if you would like to go through a short introduction, Roland, I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Sure. Roland, I'm in Pasco, Washington, and if you guys don't know, it's up here in the northwest corner of the United States, the other Washington. I married. I have 48 grandchildren,
Wow.
and yeah, number 49 on the way. It's like, who are all these kids, and why do they?
Congrats, man.
Yeah. Hey, well, hey, I'll tell you what. My grandchildren have discovered how to make children, and 4 of those 48 are great grandchildren. And I calculated that in 10 years, I'll have at least 1 million grandkids.
A
So
million?
yeah, in 10 years. Well, now my grandkids have discovered the secret. So, but life is such a blessing, and that's pretty well what I'm doing now. My life is focused on building the not. I guess I can recap everything about what I'm doing is what Franklin Delano Roosevelt said 80 years ago. You cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can always build our youth for the future. And my focus is
Wow.
on the future leaders of the world and awakening all of us boomers and grandparents and quit making life about us anymore and just focusing on learning who these children are without judgment, without opinions, because judgment and opinions actually take you further away from the truth. And as it was written in the old book, back it was in Proverbs where it said, train up a child the way they should go, or he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And I think a lot of people don't really understand the concept of where they should go. And it's not where we think they should go. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. That's my life focus right now is them. And I
That,
created a foundation called Heart of the Fathers Foundation. So
that is awesome. And I just want to point out that My dad is here with us, and he said that your 49th grandchild should be named Alaska.
You know what's so funny about that? The 49th grandchild is a great grandchild, and it's due in July, and it's going to be a girl. So, Alaska would be a good name for a girl, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna bring that up to him, and being that I'm a grandpa, that doesn't carry a lot of weight when it comes to naming grandchildren, because
Yeah, I know. But that would be pretty cool, I have to say. So, Roland, I know from my own personal experience that in life you often have to grow through something to come out better through that certain something. Now, you'll notice that I said grow through something instead of go through something because I believe there is something we need to learn from just going through that something to actually grow through that something and come out the other side stronger than we ever thought we really were. So, has there been anything that you've had to grow through?
well, in my almost 72 years here on Earth, there has probably been a lot of challenges that I've been through, and like you, I'm appreciative now of those challenges, even though maybe at the time. But after I graduated from high school in 1969, I ended up going in the military and ended up doing 3 tours in Vietnam.
Thank
And
you for your service.
oh, hey, no problem. And when I got back, when I came home, I had a child that was a month old and a son, and then and when he was born, he was with my dad and his wife, my stepmom, and my wife was with him at the time, and so I started going to college, and at the end of 7 years, I finished with my college. At the same time, working, and moved from one side of the state with my 4 children and my wife and a child on the way to the other side of the state to a place I've never lived before, taking on a whole new job. And that was 1981. And that was probably, it started off being the dream life. I'm 29 years old, 4 children, beautiful home, beautiful, perfect job where I was doing it. And then June, my fifth child was born. July, was at a picnic, and my oldest son, who was 7, drowned, and I was with him when he drowned. That was kind of hard to kind of explain to people the feeling of being there when your son drowns. And
That's crazy.
my dad and I became really close, and it was like 6 months to the day. My dad lived on the other side of the state, and I got a call that he had died. He was 49 and had taken his own life. And then after that, my grandmother passed away. My grandfather had lost a couple other family members. My wife and I divorced. I ended up losing my job, and they moved away back to the other state. And now I'm 31, homeless, jobless, lost my family, and I have nothing. And
Man,
but I can look back now, and and you look at like what you went through. I can look back now and I appreciate that challenge because of who I am today and my picture of the big picture of life. And one of the things that helped me through that was the story of the Chinese farmer. I don't know if you're familiar with that story or not.
I don't know that I am.
Well, I put it in one of the. I put it in both the books that I've written because to me it was very powerful for me. And in the Chinese community, whatever they raise, and if you out there are going through challenges, take heart. And if you know this story and you understand it, share it with others who are going through challenges. But in the Chinese community, whatever they raise is what they live on through the year. And one day the Chinese farmer went out and his son had left the gate open and their only horse had run off into the hills. And the neighbors were going, "Oh, you poor man, what bad luck you have. Now you have no way of plowing your fields. and your family's going to starve. What bad luck? And he goes, well, bad luck, good luck, we'll see. And
Yeah, I have heard this before.
well, so if those who haven't heard it before,
Yes, you can
so,
go ahead with it.
okay. So a few days later, his horse came back out of the hills with about 3 or 4 horses, wild horses, following it, and goes into the corral. Well, the son, he's probably excited because he's probably not grounded anymore, and he closes the gate, and the neighbors are going, "Oh my gosh, you are so lucky. You're wealthy. You can sell these horses and be rich. What good luck do you have?" And he said, "Well, good luck, bad luck, we'll see." Well, his son was breaking one of those horses and fell off, broke his leg. Teri was laid up, and the neighbors said, "Oh, you are so unlucky. What bad luck you have. Now you have to do your son's chores, your chores, plus take care of your son. What bad luck you have." And he said, "Well, good luck, bad luck, we'll see." Well, the Chinese army was coming through to take these young men to go off to war to never return again. And they come to the farmer's house and said, "We can't use your son. He's lame." And they passed him up. And the neighbors are like, "Wow, what good luck you have." Some of them mourning from the loss of their sons. He said, "Now you get to keep your son. What good luck you have." And he said, "Well, good luck, bad luck, we'll see." So now in my life, anytime I always say when yogurt hits the fan in my life, which it always will, it's kind of like what Jack Canfield teaches, the events in your life that you can't do anything about, plus the response determines the outcome. So now when it happens, which it does, things like that, I look for the good in it. And you know what? Good always comes out. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I know it will come out. And it's not optimism, it's I will prevailism, kind of like what they call the Stockdale paradox. And it really, that mindset just made me enjoy life and gave me a bigger picture of what's going on.
That's awesome. So how would you suggest that people find that bigger picture? How can you help them see that bigger picture?
Well, 2,000 years ago, there was a great teacher, and he told stories by analogies, call them parables. And one of those parables, which I've just read, I really now understand it. And the parables was the story goes where the master, a great master, went to his servants and he said, "I'm taking off for a while." And his one servant, he gave him 5, and he called them talents. And to the other, he gave 2 talents, and to another, he gave him 1 talent. And he gave according to what it said in there, their several ability. In other words, they were never given more than what they really can handle. And I have determined that my experiences, challenges, and the things I went through have given me lessons. And those lessons are the talents. I was never challenged beyond what I could handle. Like your accident, how many people could go through what you went through and come out the other side to where you're at? You weren't challenged beyond what you could handle. And so when you're out there and things happen, just realize you're never challenged beyond what you can handle, and you're going to get a lesson that is totally unique to you. No one else on this planet. And you realize that 8 billion people on this planet, no one has any more right to be on this planet than anyone else. No one's better than you. You're not better than anyone else. And when you discover why you're here, your purpose, realize that it's never about you. This life is not about this life. And when you realize that, you will really enjoy this life. It's that, so it's just figuring out where you fit in the big picture. Another analogy I can share with you is I was in the Navy, and I was on a 400-foot ship with 200 other men. I lived 3.5 years in a little cubicle about the size of my office.
Stank.
Huh? Yeah.
I bet that stank.
Nah, we got used to it. Well, because you can't blame, we all smelled the same, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, if you sat there and you thought about the ship was like the earth, and that the 200 of us in there all had specific duties to do, and specific to us. So if each of us have specific purposes here, on this earth, some of us takes time to gain those experiences, to gain those talents. And we're told in that story, in that parable, to go out and take those lessons and trade them with other people's lessons. And that will create more experiences that you haven't experienced, like this experience of you and I communicating. We'll have lessons from this experience, and to keep doing it. And how long do you do it for? Well, it said until the master comes back for accountability. So it's when you die, or if you happen to be around when he comes back again. That's what it's about. And so it's looking at that. That's what helps me through the big picture. Step back, look at yourself when you are looking at things that's going on in your life. Realize that you're making it about you. And the best way to take that is to start looking and making it about other people, helping them with what their purpose and stuff. So I don't know if that's helpful or not.
No, so how would you say someone can figure out their purpose? A lot of people struggle with that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love Jordan Peterson. I like following him, but I also like following a young lady whose name is, I listened to some of her podcast, is Teal Swan. And she talks about one of the things of finding purpose, because that is a real tough one, because I realize what my purpose is. It's connected that spirit that guides me. Like every day I like looking on Facebook and I see Jeff Marconette who posts, I am very thankful to be alive today, and what I'm doing. And I like seeing that, because what you're doing is you're expressing gratitude. But I ask you, who are you expressing gratitude to? You see, the one who guides you and let you live, who are you expressing gratitude to? And when you realize that purpose, what gives you fulfillment in a day, in your life, doing what you're doing right now, standing on a stage, sharing it, gives you fulfillment. You feel really fulfilled at the end of the day. Do you not?
No, I do.
Yeah, and that's finding something that fulfills your day. That's why it's with working with grandparents working with grandchildren. Learn who they are. Learn who they are, and who they are, then they'll know who you are. And just find out what gives them fulfillment, and just give them guidance. And when somebody gets angry at you, and it's tendency to get angry back, just realize that the reason why they're getting angry to you is not about you, it's about them. And find out what it is about them, and just learn them. And it's tough, but it's a fun game to play in life, and pretty soon you find out, so I got sons who's in the music business. I got kids that are involved with different aspects, but they're living their dreams, and I'm there and making sure that they're on track with what their purpose is.
Yeah.
So
that is so good that they have a guiding light such as yourself in their life to make sure they're staying on track. Now, that is something that I need to get better at, is helping people stay on track, because I don't preach, but I tell all these principles all the time about how people can have a better day, they can increase their mood, and they can just have better lives in general. And I don't necessarily stick with them enough during the process of them accomplishing that.
Jeff, one of the things that I'm learning every day. I'm learning, I'm growing and learning, and it's exciting when you learn new things. And especially when I start learning about my grandkids and what they're doing, and making the focus about them, nothing about me. I've learned that older people, grandparents, and people are sitting there watching the Fox and the CNN and getting stressed out about what's going on in the world, things they can't do anything about, is a lot of that's based on opinions and judgments. And I realized that if a person in their life was just to take all opinions, whether you express them or other people express them or judgment, and just throw them out and quit listening to opinions and quit listening to judgment and seek after the truth. When you find the truth, don't proclaim the truth because that forms judgment and opinions. Live the truth. Live the truth and be the light. When people see what you went through and they see how happy you are and that you're enjoying life, and it's like, how can he be so happy after he went through all that? And it's like, how can I, Jeff, share with me the secret? And that's what you're doing. And the way to express an opinion or advice for, when you learn the coaching and stuff, is not to give advice in the form of giving, but give advice in the form of a question. And always pose everything that comes out of your mouth in the form of a question. And be curious about them. And eventually people discover, those kind of things. But all you are is the light that attracts them. And they see and realize that success is not a monetary thing. Because there's a lot of unhappy billionaires. I heard a little joke the other day of somebody said, I want to be a billionaire like my uncle. And the person said, "Oh, your uncle's a billionaire?" "No, he just wanted to be a billionaire too." That was pretty clever. So
that's pretty great.
I hope that answers what the question. I mean, it's
Yeah, it certainly gave us quite a bit to think about. So I appreciate your answer. So I happen to know that you have a couple books or are featured in books. Am I correct at that?
Yeah, I've done a couple. Right now, my focus is on a new book that I'm working on, and I've been working on it for 3 years. But no, I did a book with Jack Canfield. It's just the art of success. It was a bestseller, and this one I did about 12 years ago. Now that I'm retiring, what do I do with my money? It ended up in our library. It was in my financial field. I was pegged as one of the nation's top financial advisors to baby boomers, helping people plan for retirement. And then when I realized that, oh my gosh, retirement actually is a sin. People aren't meant to retire. We are meant to create until we can't create anymore. We're not to take all this wisdom and experience and all these talents that we have and these lessons we learn, and we're not to just take them and sit by a pool, sip on lemonade until we die. It's like the one that was given the one talent. He buried it and didn't do anything. When the master came back, he took it away from him. And so we are meant to do that all the time. But those are two of the books in my little travel over the last few years. And today it's a whole new world for me, and I'm excited. I've gone through a lot of health issues. I've got 6 stents, 2 major heart attacks. I've been in 2 comas. I've drowned once. I have fun visiting with people who have gone through near-death experiences, and they ask me about mine and stuff. And the only thing I share with people is that the human being, and you might relate with this, us in this state that we're in now, cannot comprehend eternity and infinity. You can't comprehend it. And that every single human being, when you see them, they're doing the best they can. And we're to love them. Everyone's doing the best they can. You don't know, you can form a judgment or opinion and make fun of them or whatever, but you realize that, we got one planet with 8 billion little worlds on it. And we need each other. We're all pieces of that puzzle, and we need each other. And we should form connections, because it's not he with the most toys that wins in this world. It's he with the most connections. And as you're finding out, you've over these last few years in the circles we've been running in, actually almost in the world, that we run, that those connections are such a powerful thing, and that we need to teach children to go out and learn how to connect with other people and to love and to be okay with who they are, not what they are. And the other thing is getting rid of labeling, all labeling. It's not, oh, he's a drug addict. No, he's a human being who's struggling with drugs, who happens to be born in Canada, who happens to have black skin, or whatever, or happens to have white skin. Don't identify everyone who they are. And these are just vehicles that carry us around until it's our time to leave. And what we're driving around in, that's going to go in the ground and recycle and come up through trees, and we just recycle over and over. And everything that we own, we don't own anything. Life is so temporary, And like I said, as you know, I mean, it was awakening to sit there and go through those experiences and realize that I could have woke up on the other side really easily, and I'm not afraid of it. You're not afraid of it, It's so every second we're here, make it count. And the best way to make it count is to make it about other people. Does that make sense?
Yes, that is so true. So how can they get a hold of your books if they want to? I mean, heck, somebody might want to retire out there.
Yeah, I know those books, I guess, it's like, that's the old me. I put it behind me. That's kind of the thing. The books are I guess you can, I mean, I was going to do a PDF of the book and just give them away. The other one, I have a buddy who's in the younger guy, and told him, here, have this book, rewrite it and put your own stuff and get it out there and things. Right now, my focus is on the new book. And if you go to Facebook and look at the Connection Grandpa, that's what I'm doing. Right now, we're forming the Heart of the Fathers Foundation. It's all going to be about that. That's what it is. The older books, it's like, there's a lot you've got some good books out there, and if they want to get a good book and it's current, do it that way. My other book, right now the title is temporarily, it's Your Final Impact: Legacy Through Connection. And it's going to be, I want to make it a short, punchy, easy to read book that people can read. People my age who don't like to look at big, thick books. We like to look at little books. We like sometimes have pictures in them. So.
Well, that's not usually your age people, though.
Oh yes, I'm. When you get, it's like, I'm blessed to be around as long as I have, and being around to be able to. And I found my health. Here's the thing: my health has changed drastically when I put everything behind, got away from the TV, the politics. You realize that we can't do anything about what's going on in this country. It's so divided. The only way we can do something about it, the only way we can fix that is, go to civil war and kill everybody. But the other way is the future leaders make our focus on every single one of them, finding their purpose and supporting them and encouraging them.
That's so true.
That's what my whole focus is.
So, is there any contact information you would like to give out to people?
Well, like I said, they can go to the Connection Grandpa on Facebook. Basically, that's all I have right now. I have my, if they're friends of yours, I do have my Facebook friends. But right now that's what it is. And then when I think things are going to start putting out, I have videos and stuff. I have there's a YouTube channel called Heart of the Fathers. I'll be doing videos on there. So we're just still at the infancy stage of this, and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, that's cool. So I thank you so much, Roland, for filling in for me, my guest who had a family emergency. And I just want everybody out there to be thinking of her in this time of need, because her father is transitioning right now. And if you're not sure what that means, it means dying. And we all have our time. But I need each and every one of you out there to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. I need you to make every second count. Why? because you never know when those seconds are going to run out on your one life. Hey guys, I'll see you back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And until then, thank you so much. Have a great week. And thank you, Roland.
Yeah, thank you. Love you.
Love you too, man. See you later.
Bye.